All right, enough Xabi Alonso. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gav.
Alessandro Bastoni tugs, Florian Wirtz dives, VAR intervenes, and Dominic Szoboszlai converts as Liverpool get the late winner away to Inter. Jules, your thoughts?
I thought it was a really soft penalty, like the whole world. Obviously, for me, it's compensation for the goal that was disallowed for Konate. That I could not see any clear and obvious mistake from the referee that gave it originally. Apart from that, without Mo Salah, I thought this Liverpool team was coherent in that 4-4-2 diamond with Isak and Ekitike up front. I like the role for McAllister in there. I like the kind of fluidity for Jones and Szoboszlai. It's a game that should have finished as a draw, and then if it's a draw, you might look at it in a different way. But it's a good base to work on in this kind of post-Mo Salah era.
Yeah, I think Inter losing Çalhanoğlu is, in a game like this, in a different game, maybe not so much, I think was a huge blow. It is funny with VAR. In Italian media, there was a big deal made out of the fact there was Virgil van Dijk where the ball struck his arm. That wasn't even a talk. I didn't even see it on the highlights in this country. Nobody talked about it. So I think we have to be careful with the over-varification here. And this is a perfect case where Felix Weyer, I think, should have had the personalities. Just because you're called to the screen and you have this conversation, why are you disallowing that goal?
Yeah.
Simple as.
Mo Salah was left out of the squad, obviously, following his comments at the weekend. Gab, you wrote about this today. Where do you see this going?
So I think, or two things. I mean, first of all, the whole narrative has become Salah versus Slot, as if Slot were the only person making the decisions on the other side. It's become like a moral tale where, obviously Salah speaking out of turn in that way. It's not, you can't have that. You can't have that in a team. But it's not a moral thing. I think it speaks to something else. It speaks to planning. Mohamed Salah got a new contract on April 11th. From Liverpool, from Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. They had a plan, and they had a plan that involved Salah, and they had a plan that Slot was a part of, but it's not like Slot sat there and says, like, yes, let's keep Salah, let's do that. Now, Richard and Michael, you guys go and do this for me. No. It's a group decision. And I feel like they've been absent to it. If it's true that he has no relationship with the coach, that's the problem. That's why you have a sporting director with an office next door to the coach. That's why you have a coach that should be going to talk to him. Salah has obviously failed to get production from Salah. Salah, the other thing too is all the analytics nerds tell us his numbers were on the slide well before, not just this season, but even in the second half of last season, right?
Yeah.
So I think there has to be a bigger accountability here. I don't think the door is closed. I think I love Arne Slot. I love what he said about the first step and stuff like that. I think that's him offering a way back. I'm always skeptical of the Saudi things because, I'm sure there's middlemen in touch. There always are. It's just, does he want to do this? Can he find a different solution? Does he want to find a way back in? And I'll tell you what, this 4 diamond, if you want to call it that, I don't know if it's going to work long term, but if you're talking about a formation where you can have some combination of Isak, Ekitike, Salah, and Gakpo as your front two, you can have Wirtz at 10, in some games, maybe not every game, and you have the attacking fullbacks one at a time, maybe two at a time, to go and give you width. That is something that can offer him a way into the lineup. So I don't think the door is, it's just a hunch I get, but I don't think the door is closed to Mo Salah at all. And I also think Liverpool need to take this as a learning opportunity about what went wrong in their summer recruitment and in their handling of Salah. 2 goals from Jules Koundé, Paris-born, but not Paris-bred. No. He went away. He left you. Prodigal son.
Yeah.
Barcelona turned it around against Eintracht.
Yes, I mean, this was a typical Barcelona game where they were so open defensively, the high line, etc. And that Frankfurt, who I think made 60 passes in the first half, but were 1-0 up at halftime, obviously on a quick transition. Almost exploited it more than that. But in the end, the talent, the substitution from Flick, to be fair, because Rashford coming on at halftime made a massive difference. Changed a great cross for the first Koundé goal and Lamine on the cross for the second Koundé goal. And it's a game that could have finished 5-4, 5-3 for Barcelona, but they won, and that's the most important after the defeat at Chelsea 2 weeks ago.
They're on 10 points, which you might think doesn't look good, but their last 2 games are both eminently winnable. I think they're going top 8.
Me too. Huge win for Jose Mourinho and Benfica as they beat Napoli 2-0 to keep their qualifying qualifying hopes alive, Gab.
First of all, respect.
Yes.
Right? It's still a tough run. They've got, I think they play Real Madrid in their final game. Napoli were absolutely terrible. They're doing better. And Conte brought this up like 3 times in his post-match press conference. Well, we had to play on Sunday night. We played a tough game against Juventus. It took a lot out of us. Benfica played on Friday. Just stop repeating it. Who cares? You should have put in a better performance. This was a really bad performance from Napoli. Joes, we're not done. We have more quick hits.
Yes.
Despite a long list of injuries and absentees, Arsenal beat Bruges 3-0 to stay perfect. It's a perfect 6 for 6 at the top of the Champions League. Jules, good way to bounce back after disappointment from the weekend?
Yeah, really good. I mean, they were outstanding at times. Not always, because Raya had to make a couple of really good saves too. Maybe a little bit too open. But considering the back four of Lewis, Kelly, Hincapié, Norgard and White, no Saka, for example.
Is he fit? Is that just is he just being rested, Saka?
Yeah, he
He's
came
the
on
bench?
after 70 minutes. He took the outline.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It was just a rest, like for Rice, like for Timber, Otrosa. And so I think it was really good from Arsenal with Madueke with 2 goals. The first one exceptional. Martinelli with a lovely goal. They could have scored 5 or 6 easily. So really good. They've scored 17 goals in the Champions League and conceded 1 in 6 games.
Yeah, Bruges, led by, of course, Mr. Champions League, Hans van Aken. Obviously, they were a mess. They also had a bunch of players out. But I thought this was so professional from Arsenal. Atalanta come from a goal down to beat Chelsea 2-1 as Gianluca Scamacca and the Prince, Charles de Ketelaere, find the net. Jules, more inconsistency from Maresca's men.
Yeah, the first half was decent, to be fair. And then I think Maresca messed up everything. For me, this is on him massively.
Oh, more than on your boy Wes.
I mean, Wes...
he's not good.
Well, he's good.
He's not good. Not good like his transfer fee.
He's good, I think. And he made a mistake on the Scamacca goal. He forgets it completely. I don't know, Maresca trying to explain that if he had another change, he would have brought Estevao on. He had another change to make. So I don't understand. I don't understand what he did there. But for me, after what happened against Leeds and Bournemouth to some extent, this is bad again from Maresca.
Yeah, I think very much outplayed by Atalanta in this game. A lot of this on to Maresca, but there's continuous chopping and changing. And look, I don't want to pick on Fofana, but like, if the guy doesn't have any kind of regularity, it's like he's a project. Let's get him back to where we thought he was going to be.
He can't play every 3 days anywhere physically, which is a problem. I know for any.
He's what, 23?
Yeah, that's true. Tottenham Hotspur rolled to a 3-0 win over Slavia Prague. Gab is the man with 2 first names impressing you more now?
No, not based on this game, because Slavia Prague are terrible. It seems like the only thing they try to do when they're...
Who's the guy with the 2 first names?
What? Thomas Frank.
I'm trying to think about player.
They're not good. And they just play to defend, and eventually you're gonna make a mistake. I thought the Xavi Simons penalty was exactly what we don't want to see. I think that's just a dive to win a penalty. Was there contact? Sure. I wish people wouldn't do that. He went out there. I don't get, like, are we going to see this again? Archie Gray with Palhinha? Or are you building towards something in the front four? Or are we going to go back where you pack the team with defensive midfielders in some games? You can't do this and expect any kind of regularity. I thought Colomwani would play in this game. It seemed made for him. No, he's on the bench. I just don't understand him. But yeah, he got the win. And they got a shot at top 8. So well done there. Speedy Barcola rattles the crossbar, but Paris Saint-Germain don't go past a 0-0 draw away to Athletic Bilbao. Joe, nothing to worry about, right?
No, because they were really good. They had 73% of the ball, many chances. Unai Simon made 3-4 outstanding save, and there's that one from Barcola who should have crossed the ball to Kvaratskhelia every single day.
What? No, not when he hit the crossbar.
Yeah. Kvaratskhelia is on his own.
I know, but how much he's Speedy Barcola? How much more?
No,
you want to make the highlight reel?
But he missed.
Okay,
so.
no.
But the move to get to that chance was incredible. The passing, the movement from PSG. They're getting close to their best. Again, Desiree Doué came back, so it's good. It's 10 years since they last had a 0-0 draw in the Champions League. Second half goals from Jonathan David and Weston McKennie in the other way helped Juventus to a 2-0 win over Paphos. Gab, Luciano Spalletti needed this. They were being booed at halftime.
Yeah, and I
Rightly
think
so.
some people are probably still booing them at the end. Yeah, you get a reaction. It's nice. David scores. McKennie, who I think has been playing much better than people give him credit for, opening the scoring was really well taken goal. I saw. At one point, we saw David Luiz going on a run from the back, beating 3 opponents. The man is what, in his 40s and is a center back? Come on, man! Like, he needs to sort it out and do better. We had games where they were drawing and playing well, Juve, and they're getting criticized. Now here they played badly and they won, but it's a big win. They needed this to stay on track. A late Alex Grimaldo goal means Newcastle have to settle for a 2-2 draw by Leverkusen. Jules, fair result?
I think so, although you'd be gutted and frustrated if you're Newcastle to have led until the 88th minute and then concede the goal like they did. It's a lovely goal, Maza, for Grimaldo in a kind of 1-2. It's really, really impressive. But before that, they responded well from going a goal down. They still can't keep a lead, which is, I don't know what the problem is, but they keep throwing away those leads, Newcastle, which must be, again, very frustrating. But I think the draw was probably fair.
Yeah, 2 of the goals were lucky. I think the first goal and obviously the Flecken glitch brain fart that leads to the Voltermata. But the other 2, Lewis Miley, what a leap.
Yeah, great. He's a big boy. We used to bother Glim throwing results away and being unlucky. Gab, was it the other way around this time in their 2-2 draw away at Borussia Dortmund?
Borussia Dortmund going back to their roots and throwing games away. Yeah, they dominated. I think the XG 3.19 from BVB as Julien scores twice. They look like they're in control. And then the old insecurities come out. Like Bodo Glimt played pretty football.
Yeah.
Just keep it in front of you and see out the game. It's really not that complicated. I think Kovac's head was exploding because this was shades of the old Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund, I think they play Spurs and Inter next. So they are very much on the bubble. So this is a massive 2 points dropped. Our boy Roberto De Zerbi sends out his 21st different lineup in 21st games, something which is objectively difficult to do.
Yeah.
And it's bedlam in Brussels. Marseille win 3-2 as Mason Greenwood scores twice, but Union Saint-Gilloise nearly equalized late, Jules. It's your boy, your favorite, Kevin McAllister.
Yeah. I mean, there was an offside by a millimeter on not the McAllister goal that was disallowed, but on the Promise David goal that was disallowed. Literally, when I say millimeter, it was a case of a millimeter. And then Promise had another amazing header saved by Rulli. Marseille were in control, 3-1 up, and then I'm not sure what happened. De Zerbi messed up his system early on with the back 3. Didn't work, never worked, went back to a back 4. But they play Liverpool at the Velodrome in January now for the next round of this league phase, which is going to be massive and an incredible game. And if they win that, then they'll have a good shot to have a good position in the top 24. So after the win against Newcastle, winning at Brussels, which we expected, but still, although they make it hard work for themselves.
I was trying to figure out if it was mathematically possible to send out a different lineup in every single game of Marseille this season, assuming that it would be 50-odd games.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
I
it
can't be bothered to go and to figure out the math, but anybody on social media wants me to know. There's a basic formula for it. So
Atletico Madrid bounced back after defeat at the weekend and avoid getting bossed by PSV Eindhoven. But Gab, this was closer than it looked.
It was very much closer than it looked. First of all, Atletico Madrid, Sorloth was, I think Sorloth is in a better situation than Julian Alvarez right now.
Yeah.
And I think he should. I know it seems crazy. Alvarez, who I don't think he scored at home in the league since August, but the PSV Eindhoven put together something like 2.23 xG. This is not acceptable. Yeah. That's not acceptable. Pepe with the goal late to open it up again. I know obviously there was trauma from the weekend and whatever else, but I don't think he necessarily feels like he's in control of this team the way we're used to seeing, or the way we have been used to seeing him in the past. They need to sort it out. But yes, Bosch, chapeau again. Honorable defeat. Flo Balogun gives Monaco the 3 points against Galatasaray. But Jules, how unlucky were they that the magnificent Ugurkan Shakir, the goalkeeper, had to come off after saving a penalty, making unbelievable saves. And they got the guy who came on. I don't know if you saw the whole sequence. I watched the whole sequence. Yeah. Before he comes on, there's people shouting at him from the stands, presumably telling him, you suck, because he does suck, as we then found
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
He turns around, rather than focusing on getting in the game, he turns around, he argues with him, he seems to shot at somebody on the bench. He comes onto the pitch, and then he glitches completely on the goal.
Yeah, hasn't touched the ball when he comes on. It's a corner, and he kind of tries to come down, not sure, comes back down, and it's too late. And it's a good number 9 goal by Balogun, who missed a couple of chances before that. He could have had a hat trick easily. But Monaco needed that win so badly, not just in this Champions League to try to finish top 24, but also for their overall form, which hasn't been great lately. So Bocconioli and the players really needed that win.
So they were fortunate, though. Yeah, I've never seen that with a goalkeeper. Somebody
No,
who's
but
just,
they were. They
they
massively to win.
clearly.
Like,
Even the
on that
return of
goal,
Victor
yeah.
Osimhen didn't quite do it for them. But
yeah, definitely.
man, that was. You watch the highlight if you can. Watch the whole sequence of when.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody come on and look less prepared, more distracted. I even wonder if is he really the backup keeper, or is he like?
I think so. Yeah.
Are you sure it's not like some bus driver, security guard?
No.
All right.
Jason Martin scores late, but Olympiacos get the 3 points away to Karat Almaty. Gab, Mr. Marinakis is alive and well.
That's right. Despite all the mean things certain people say about him, like they hit the woodwork 3 times. It was getting nervy, and I think Mr. Marinakis would not have been best pleased if they didn't come away with the 3 points, because it is Kairat Almaty. But eventually, Gelson Martins gets it done. It's kind of thing where if they score earlier, they could have scored 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Ajax get their first points, scoring 3 times in the last 11 minutes to win 4-2 at Karabag. Finally, some luck, Jules.
Yeah, Peter Grimm, who come on as a manager to replace Johnny Heitinga, who lost his first 3 games and then now has won 3 in a row, but it looked like they were not going to win this one. They were twice behind, and then Oscar Gluck came on and changed the game completely. So it's good for them. And now with 3 points, with 2 games to go, the 24th team has 6 points, so there's 3 points.
Don't go there. Don't go. I don't even
No,
want to
no,
call.
no,
No,
no.
mathematically, you're right.
It's
but
possible. It's possible.
Look.
But like they responded well of going down.
they're coached by a guy who lives up to his name in the way he looks and in the way Ajax play.
It's crazy, Gabi. Villarreal win the game in hand in La Liga. They will move to 2nd place. But in the Champions League, they're in last position alongside Karat Almaty as they lose at home to Copenhagen 3-2 thanks to a late goal from Andreas Cornelius.
Andreas Cornelius, who I'd forgotten that he existed. I
Really?
I thought he retired. I know he'd been to Copenhagen. He was like a punchline in some of the other clubs he's been at.
Yeah. He's only scored in one season in Turkey, but otherwise it's only at Copenhagen that he scored. Nowhere else.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so if you look at his career, he had that one great season at Copenhagen that took him to Cardiff.
Yeah.
Was terrible there. Then I think he goes back to Copenhagen, does well, that takes him to Italy.
Yeah.
Atalanta Parma,
Yeah.
dreadful. Then he goes back to Copenhagen, does well, goes to Trabzonspor, something like that.
It was
does well in
Trabzonspor,
that
yeah.
one season. And then saying like, you know what, I scored in Copenhagen, so let's go back there.
Hey, whatever works for him. Villarreal obviously not believing in the mathematics like you did with Ajax, because they threw this away against an opponent that they should have been in control of.
Terrible.